one way that I use Google Forms in my classroom is as a way to do a daily warm up and as an attendance tracker. So this right here is my virtual classroom. For those of you that may not be familiar with the concept of the virtual classroom, it's basically just a bunch of icons gathered in one Google slide, and it's used as a way for students to be able to get to different websites quicker. So, for example, if they click into the F, they'll be led to vocabulary. If they click into the pair, they'll go straight to Pear Deck, and it'll go straight to the screen where they just enter their code. If they click on Nearpod, it takes them straight to Nearpod, and so on. Each one of these little file cabinets will take them straight to their Google Classroom, to their classwork tab. So they know that they can go straight there to know what their assignment is for the day. So they just pick on the period or click on the period, and it'll take them to their classwork. The unit notes will take them to the notes, whatever notes we have for that unit. They can go back and look at them there. If they were absent, they can go back and copy them. And this bubble right here, so my students know that as soon as they log in, they take a look at this bubble because it's going to instruct them on what to start doing to start getting ready for the class. So in black, I have my synchronous instructions. So complete your warm-up, open up a Pear Deck tab, open up your periodic table of elements, have your notebook ready. And my asynchronous instructions, I usually lead them to their file cabinet, and then I ask them to open up an asynchronous chat. So that's what I wanted to share with you right now, or that's one of the things. This asynchronous chat, basically what it is, it's a Google Doc. It's a Google Doc that I created and I shared with all of my students. So I didn't just send it to them so they can fill out, I actually shared it with them. And what I did this so that we can be able to communicate with each other during asynchronous instruction time. So what happened was that students were messaging me on those asynchronous days through all kinds of different platforms. And I don't mind students messaging me because I'm always available to them. But I was getting messages through Remind, through Gmail, through WhatsApp, through Messenger, through all sorts of ways. Wherever they can find me, they'll message me. And I'm sure they're like that with all teachers, but it can be overwhelming when I have messages coming in all directions. I get confused. So I wanted to find a quicker, simpler way to communicate with the kiddos in real time. And so then I created this document. And basically, it says use this document to ask me questions if you need guidance on your asynchronous class days. If you have this document, or I will have this document open during all times during the school day, and I will answer your question as soon as I see it pop up. If my answer is delayed, please check back. Ask your question in the first column, and I will answer in the second. So they basically ask it in black over here, and then I'll answer it over here in red. And it works really well. So what I do is I have it open. I instruct the kids to open it in that bubble in my virtual classroom. So they'll have it in a tab, and they can use it if they want to. And if they don't need to use it, then that's perfectly fine too. It's just a way for them to communicate with me in real time and for me to answer them back right away too. So basically, I have this form, this Google Doc form, open in another screen on another in my classroom. So I have two screens, and during asynchronous time, I have this form open on one screen. So I'm constantly glancing at it, and right away I'm able to see when a question pops up. And so far it's worked really well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be after it gets too full, then I'll just erase it so it doesn't get too overwhelming. But it's worked pretty well so far. So it's basically like a real-time chat on asynchronous days. So I just wanted to share that little strategy with you. It might be useful to some of you. Okay. So back to the calendar. When students click into each day, it's going to lead them to a Google form. And in this form, it's going to be their daily warm-up. Okay? And I use this not only as a daily warm-up, but also as an attendance tracker because it timestamps there when they log in. And as they are answering it, I'm just watching them as their names pop up. And obviously I verify to make sure that they are physically logged in because they can fill out this form without being physically logged in. So I make sure that they are physically logged in. And if for any reason I see their name pop up and they are not physically logged in, then I just put a little note there. And I use this for discipline as well. So if I'm constantly telling a student something or I need to call their parents, then I'll just notate it here and then I'll just highlight it in red so that I know that I need to address that. So again, I use it as a warm up. I use it to track attendance, and I use it to write little notes on here for discipline. So that's another way that I find Google Forms useful in my classroom.